Welcome back to the Melbourne Vixens, hosting the Queensland Firebirds. We're coming to you from the Wurundjeri country right here. And for us, it's a huge battle. Sharon Finnan-White and Caitlin Thwaites are joining me in commentary. Don't we love that our one-stop shop for netball on Fox Netball is our shows, Centre Circle and Pivot. You can keep up to date with all of the netball goss. Let's take a look at the team lineups, Sharon, because the Firebirds, starting as we would usually see them, but there's a change in the Vixens lineup.
There is a change in the Vixens lineup, Bianca. So we see Olivia Lewis in that goalkeeper position. We're so used to seeing Emily Mannix start at goalkeeper. So, you know, just wondering, maybe is there some tactics in that? You know, because I'm pretty sure that we'll see Emily Mannix come onto the court at some stage.
And we have seen Olivia Lewis come onto the court, have such an impact with her incredible vertical jump. Ruby Barkmeyer is in as Rani Sanderson, not quite right yet, is still sitting out. But the Firebirds, Kim Revillion, Kate Maloney, what a battle in the mid-court it will be between the two centres.
Looking forward to seeing that one in particular, Bianca. We know how fast and dynamic they are, so potentially we might see some bodies hit the floor at some stage.
We've seen it every game this season so far. The teams are getting ready to run out, and you might see a whole lot of pink in the crowd. The Vixens charity partner is the Breast Cancer Network Australia. And they are not only raising awareness, but raising funds with all their pink merchandise. And the Firebirds getting ready. Their attack line, we've spoken about it a lot, having such a great impact this season, showing the league how to play in that shooting area. It doesn't have to be like everyone else does it.
No, not at all. I mean, I think, as I mentioned earlier in commentary, it just brings a different element and dynamic to Super Netball. And I think, you know, people talk about the super shot being something new. You know, we've seen it over the last couple of years. So, yeah, I love seeing the style of play that they bring to this game.
And when we look at the Melbourne Vixens, there's Kumwenda in her usual position that we see her at goal shooter. She's had a great season. She doesn't get the accolades she probably deserves. She's just been consistently good all year.
I agree, and that's probably why they don't get the accolades. It's usually the people who sort of stand out when they haven't been performing so well, but she's so consistent, so strong. Ebony Usuro-Brown will have her work cut out for her today, but Ebony had such a strong game last week. I think she's really found her form, and yeah, it'll be a great battle.
Kate Eddy, she returns. She was out last week with COVID protocols and is back. Jo Weston, we spoke about her in the pre-match, the incredible season she is having, but also the battle against Gretel Bawita, her Diamonds teammate. And there's Olivia Lewis taking the court at goalkeeper. The Firebirds, they get to start off with the ball in their hands. Kim Revillion will get us started. Dunkley straight up to Wallam. No hesitation in that feed. Maloney to Austin. Austin goes across. Watson straight up to Kumwenda. Bakewell-Doran contesting early. I
was just about to say, Bianca, it's great to see her contesting early, and even though she didn't get her hands to the ball, she put pressure on the pass, and, you know, we saw an error fumble in the ball there.
Austin with the first goal for the Melbourne Vixens. Watch this replay. There she goes. Bakewell-Doran getting a hand in already. Two goals already for Danelle Wallam. Maloney, double play. Getting every second pass down the court.
Lovely shot from Kira Austin there. She's got such a lovely shooting technique, doesn't she, Bianca?
I'm not a shooter, but it seems very textbook to me, as in she does it all right.
Yes.
Early turnover for the Vixens. Lewis and Weston into attack. Eddy struggling to find a positioning forward.
And this is the type of defence the Firebirds started with last week. They were strong from the get-go. So we'll see if they can maintain that strong defensive pressure for the 4 quarters as they did last week.
Austin just balances to keep it in. Calm, steady, exactly what Di Honey and Joe Munro want to see. Kumwenda out of the circle, opens it up for Austin. What a brilliant play. Kira Austin, though, stepping out of court. Ebony Usuro-Brown, English Roses defender. This year, a Queensland Firebird. Oh, Austin with hands over. We know she has such an impact. She's an attacker, but she's always getting intercepts.
She is, and look, and this is what we tell our young players, isn't it? Just because you're an attacker doesn't mean you don't have to defend, but, you know, and we see her do it time and time again. Turn that ball over.
Vixens hands over defence. Firebirds, patient play in attack. Dunkley.
Good patience there from the Firebirds just to play it around before they could see that opening from Wallam in the circle.
Bawetta straight up the middle for the centre pass. Straight up. Weston gets a hand to it. Important pickup for the Vixens. Scores are tied here at John Cain Arena.
That's the thing, isn't it, Bianca? Every pickup is important, and they really need to convert off every pickup.
Vixens in attack. We know in the first 5 games for the season, the Vixens didn't have many turnovers. They kept it tight. But the last 2 games, they have let that slip.
Yeah, and I guess, you know, you don't expect that from the Vixens because they, you know, normally play that style of game where they don't have lots of turnovers. But I guess we can expect that from any team, you know, on a bad day.
Vixens extend their lead by 2. Bawetta to Wallam. We're going to say that a lot, I'm sure, today. Under the post. Never makes a mistake on that one.
Do we see the Firebirds setting up a defensive wall off that centre pass?
Why do they do the wall?
Well, I think it's really just to shut down that space across that line, so the wing attack and the goal attack can't find the space getting off that line, and it just adds something different for the attackers to think about as well.
Austin, miss, Kumwenda with the rebound. Revillion gets us underway quickly. That connection between Dunkley and Wallam has been building.
That was a great feed from Dunkley, so far off the circle as well, wasn't it?
It's across the court to Caitlin Thwaites. What have you been liking about the Vixens' defence?
Well, I've been liking the way that Joe Weston has just been mixing it up down there. Next time the ball comes down this end of the court, just have a look. Sometimes she is isolating Gretel Bawetta with the ball, coming back into the 2-on-1 on Wallam, or just confusing that space as well. Gretel is such a hard one to try and stop, isn't she? And so it's really exciting to see that Joe already is mixing things up on her, making her think about it.
It is important just creating doubt, and already Dunkley, another feed far off the edge of that circle to Wallam, so accurate.
Yeah, well, I think she actually put a little bit of a fake in there and drew the defender off as well, so that opened up for Wallam quite nicely.
Austin to Watson, straight across to Kumwenda. The connection's just as strong down this end of the court. Hands over from Joe Weston to try and stop the impact Bawetta can have early.
Ooh. Just a push off there from Danelle Wallam, just trying to reposition and using the elbow.
Weston to Eddie. Vixen short, sharp, having to do a lot of passes in this centre third. Austin breaks through the middle. Weston to reset. Maloney, Kumwenda out of the circle, tries to go across. Austin, there she goes. Makes it count. Kumwenda saying, that was not off me. And the Vixens get a second chance. Simpson, the hands of Simpson. Here she goes in attack as Liz Watson gets a piece of the action.
That's why it's so important to have hands over every single ball, Bianca, isn't it?
And we're seeing that from both teams.
Absolutely are.
Vixens are doing it, the Firebirds are doing it. Similar tactics at the moment. Wallen shooting at 100%. 7 from 7. Bawetta not even needing to hit a shot right now.
And that's the thing, when you play a team sport like netball, we know that our goal attack and goal shooter are meant to shoot goals, but if you've got a dominant shooter, the goal attack really tends to play that assist role, don't they?
Front positioning from Olivia Lewis. Gets a hand to that. Have a look on the right-hand side of your screen, just where Wallen takes her shots. No surprises, all fairly close to the post. But she can shoot far out, and that's what makes her so damaging. And
then in about 2 minutes' time, I'm sure we're going to start to see her taking the shots in that super shot range.
Caitlin Thwaites, Maui Kumwenda, shooter for the Vixens. What are you seeing?
As we see her with a beautiful drive out of that circle, I think for Kumwenda, she's doing a really great job of just moving around in that attack third, just shifting that defence. We know that these defenders like to work together really well. So just Kumwenda getting on the move a tiny bit at the moment. It's just making sure that they, we saw a really nice drive from Kira Austin, which opened the circle because it took Ebony out of the circle from her.
Do the shooters know when to come out and when to stay in? Are they reading the play, or is that a strategy pre-game?
Definitely, yes. You can definitely read that out there on court. Sometimes I think some of the strategies would be that you would like to either stay in more, or sometimes coming up against different defenders, you might like to come out of the circle a bit more. So it really depends.
Dunkley up to Wallen.
Dunkley just is looking more confident, more and more confident each game, just feeding that ball, isn't she? She's turning and looking and just releasing.
And I think that's the important part, isn't it, for a wing attack to have that connection.
Yeah, absolutely.
We see Liz Watson doing the same thing with her shooters. There's not much defenders can do about it when that confidence to throw it straight in.
And it has to be that quick release so the defenders don't have a chance to get their hands over the ball.
We talk about connection. Kim Revillion, Greta Bawetta, Lara Dunkley. It is getting stronger, and the patience is what really showcases how good the Firebirds are.
Wallen's going to have to watch that push off. The umpire's, keeping an eye out for that now, so she's going to have to keep those elbows down. I think it's probably her basketball style of play coming into the game a little bit there.
Olivia Lewis has been doing her homework. Firebirds take the lead. You hear the siren. The Power 5 is now in play. The Suncorp super shot as the Firebirds regain possession. Will they have a go? Wallen steps it in for one. And we hear our first HCF tactical timeout called by the Melbourne Vixens. It's a tactical timeout. I don't know why the players then were coming in. I don't think they realise what's happening, but let's take a listen into the Vixens huddle.
Okay, so we're kind of going for it, but then we're pulling out at the last minute. I'm going to set a pass in particular because we want to slow up on that transfer, okay? So go for that first ball, and then be in that position and then slow that up, all right? There's been a couple of times in the last few minutes where it's too quick down the court. We really want to slow that up there, okay? All right? And just be mindful of when you're sagging off into either back to help live, or you're staying up on penalty, okay? I'll do that. Good job. Now, you force me out in front of this court if you're calling me back. Yeah. You've just got blood on your head. We got plenty of balls. Keep fighting. Let's make it out. Let's go. Turning this one over. 1, 2, 3, yes.
There we hear it. The Vixens through Joe Munro and Di Honey, getting an insight into what's happening. What did you notice, Sharon?
Well, just, listening to Joe Munro have a chat to the defenders there about, she said that they're pulling out at the last minute and really wants them to go for that first ball, and then if they miss, get back, recover and block that next drive. And also, decide if you're going to sag back or be hands over and not be in what I used to call no man's land.
Yeah. Let's go over to Caitlin Thwaites. What were you hearing in the Firebirds camp? We don't quite have it.
Attacking contact.
Here we go. Caitlin, sorry, start again for us.
I heard Megan Anderson just went straight over to Wallen, just reassuring her she's obviously had those 2 attacking contacts so far, so just reassuring her of what she needs to do to stay out of the umpire's attention.
Here we see Gabby Simpson took the throw in very quickly. She's lucky to get that reset. The Firebirds leading by 3. 4 minutes to play in this first quarter. Power 5 is in play. Simpson to Baker Doran. Revillion tries to move it forward. Bowetta straight to Wallam. Three from 3 for Greta Bowetta. The Firebirds have the centre pass. We saw last time these 2 teams played in round 1. The Firebirds won the first quarter.
That's right. And then what happened in the middle, Bianca? That's the thing, like last week when they played a full 4 quarters of consistent netball is probably one of the first times we've seen them do that in a very long time. So they'll be feeling really confident coming into today, and they're going to have to, maintain that consistency if they've got any chance of winning today against such a quality side like the Vixens.
Keep an eye on the matchup between Kate Maloney and Kim Revillion. Revillion very vocal out there on court. She's the captain. She's directing play. Bowetta to Dunkley. Simple play into Wallam. The Vixens can't get their hands to it as they Firebirds extend their lead by 5. Austin, 2 hands to go over. And the Vixens will get to reset. Players quite often like this time when the ball rolls out of court and they get to calm down and take a breath.
They do. It also gives us a bit of a breather too, doesn't it? Yeah.
Watson. Up to Kumwenda. Penalty shot. She makes that count. Just over 2 minutes to play. As we have a look at our Nissan net points, no surprises at all. Lara Dunkley leading the way on 36. Gabby Simpson not far behind her. And Maui Kumwenda, the only Vixen in the top 5 at the moment. Watson to Maloney. Austin out of the circle. It's a 2-on-1. Yasuro Brown chooses to go at Austin. Suncorp super shot for Kira Austin. Great way to start off this game. Simpson. Wallam in a 1-on-1 with Lewis. Great start from Danelle Wallam.
Oh, absolutely. I was just, when you talk about that 1-on-1 in the circle with the shooter and the keeper, it's always really hard for the defender to work out what's, where they need to stand, especially when you're standing up against a tall target like Wallam. But I think Lewis is doing an okay job at the moment. She just probably needs to just keep moving her feet around, keep mixing it up with Weston dropping back and double defending, and not getting sucked into the fake and actually staying on the body, I think, for the when it comes down next time, let's see if that happens.
Just under a minute to play in this first quarter. Caitlin Thwaites, what are you noticing?
Well, I'm really interested actually to see, across the league stats here, but the Vixens are actually really good at whether they're getting the offensive rebound. We just saw them take a throw in down there, but when they do have some of those missed shots, they're not necessarily actually... Olivia Lewis comes up with the ball.
We were just talking about her, weren't we, and the patience and the play that she has to do to move her feet. We see the Harvey Norman replay. Back to you, Katie. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I was saying about the Vixens don't necessarily actually turn the ball over. They are they're scrapping the ball off rebounds. They're getting the offensive rebounds themselves, and they're doing a really good job of keeping the ball in attack, even when they're missing some of those shots.
The Vixens trailing by 4. Kumwenda can't make it count. And you said we'd see bodies all over the ground, and we sure are.
And Kumwenda's looking a little bit shaky on the shot at the moment. She doesn't have that usual confidence. And now we see it now. She's revving her team up. That would have been a nice confidence booster for her.
Kim Revillion very happy to hang on to the centre pass to make sure the Firebirds can get us underway in the second quarter. The Firebirds, they're leading by 4 goals here at John Cain Arena.
Welcome back, and we've just seen in the Vixens huddle here, Di Honey stepping up as head coach. She was really clear and assertive with her players. She wants them connecting, looking for each other out there on court, and she also wants at the mid-quarters to do some of that stop and break back. You know, losing their defenders along the way, and we saw Jo Munro as well, just asking her players, be really clear on whether you are sagging onto that 2-on-1 into the circle. Over to you, B.
Sharon, the Firebirds, what were you noticing in their huddle?
Well, it's pretty hard to hear with this amazing crowd, but they were talking, Megan was talking about the fake out into the pockets to create that one-on-one, which is what we were talking about earlier. So I think she's liking and she wants to see more of that happening. And then she was talking to her, I think it was Gabby Simpson, about going all the way to the pocket in defence. So when that ball was coming down to the pocket in the Vixens attack end, to go with them the whole way down to the pocket.
Kim Revillion gets us started for the Firebirds. Dunkley to Buena, can't go forward. Simpson, Revillion. Patient play by the Firebirds. They're quick, but they're using the ball well. The Vixens through Weston. She gets a deflection. Lewis to Maloney. Austin standing alone, but Bakewell-Doran gets a hand in there. Quick play from the Vixens.
I love watching Isoro Brown in that circle, because what she does really well is she moves her feet left and right and creates that illusion of no space, and she takes that space up, constantly moving her feet left and right, back and forward. So
with defenders, there's always that intimidation factor.
Absolutely.
Isoro Brown, she brings that.
She certainly brings it, and just creates that doubt for the feeders, where to put the ball. One minute you think you've got that space, next minute she's covering it.
Kumwenda, calm, steady, her 10th goal. Duckley out quickly for the centre pass. Revillion nice and calm. Buena just controlling the ball. It's a 2-goal lead to the Firebirds.
Gabby Simpson just riding Austin there on that first phase.
Firebirds putting in a huge effort, keeping the Vixens off the edge of that circle, and now getting the turnover through Isoro Brown and the contact call. Revillion tries to go long. Another body on the ground. Buena to Dunkley. Double play back to Revillion, and again, and again.
And again, just patient netball, isn't it? It's just patient, working it down. Eddie did well to get a hand to that ball.
Firebirds unfazed by who has the ball in their hands.
Absolutely, they just look like a different team to what we've seen before. They're just not panicking, they're confident, they're placing the ball where it needs to go. There's options aplenty. They've got backup in defence. Gabby Simpson just is the master of driving that ball down through the mid-court.
Calm, patient attack of the Firebirds. What can the Vixens do? Weston sags back. It's a 2-on-1. Wallum not phased at all.
Ambitious pass from Buena, but that just goes to show how much confidence she has in Wallum and how that connection is really developing.
Simpson putting pressure on Watson, physically making sure that every time she gets the ball in her hands, she is accountable. Austin from the baseline. Lewis goes flying.
Good on Lewis for having a crack at that, because I think it was worth having a go at. And that's the thing, you need to be able to sort of know when to stay, when to come off, and she was very close at getting an intercept there.
Austin to Watson, Maloney, ball in hand. Caitlin, how are you seeing the two centres, the matchup between Revillion and Maloney?
It's so exciting, guys. I feel like it's tickets to the gun show, because the two of them side by side, not giving each other an inch, but they're trying to get one arm in front of each other, get that shoulder in front, and it's just constantly one of them getting their shoulder in front. The other one wants their shoulder in front, so it's really exciting. We know they've got some good guns, though, don't we?
We sure do. Two of the fittest players in the league. As you see, the Vixens here caused the turnover. They now fly into attack. The Vixens leading the goals from turnovers 5-1. Sorry, the Firebirds leading. They're making the most of the ball. Tippy toes on that circle line from Lizzie Watson. Gets the ball safely to Kumwenda. The Vixens back within 2. Not much in the difference with the teams with their possession. Vixens 52%, Firebirds 48%. Easy pass.
Just shows what a, sorry Bianca, just shows what a close contest it is, isn't it? Possession game.
And the patient play that we've been speaking about.
Absolutely.
One goal the difference. Just under 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. Wallop steps in. She loves that.
She absolutely does love it, and it's such a, it's just, you know, to be able to take that step in nice and quickly, as I said, before the defenders can set up.
95% shooting from the goal shooter from the Firebirds. 86% though for the Melbourne Vixens. 82%, 14 from 16 for Kumwenda. Kumwenda up to Wallam. A little jump pass. The ball is moving quickly. You can see though, just a bit of a momentum shift and more intensity in the Vixens game.
Yeah, absolutely. And they know, I mean, they know they need to step up to shut down. That's always been a quick transition for the Firebirds from the defence end down. So, yeah, we've seen a bit of a momentum shift, which is exactly what I'm sure Simone sitting at home would want them to be doing.
HCF tactical timeout. Let's listen into the Firebirds huddle.
Okay, yeah, so was that last set up a box that you just did? Yeah, so I reckon that the contest came... Even if one of you gets it and then the other one's wide on the centre pass, whoever got the first ball, when you pass wide, you've got to go down, and then Rav can fill that spot, or the back people can fill it, but we can't stay there. And, yes, pass, even if you get it middle, pass wide, you've got to go down. Good, Melly. Great take then.
Really early back to a 2-on-1. Yeah, awesome.
But always remember there's back on the line. Yeah, no need to force it. Let's go, guys. Lift the intensity. Lift it. Let's go, yeah. Let's go. Wait, really, really smart by us. All right, now we figured it out. Let's put our foot down. Let's go. Show up on 3, 1, 2, 3. Show up. Let's go. Wait.
Kim Revillion wanting her team put their foot down. Megan Anderson wanting them to lift the intensity. The Firebirds are fired up. Caitlin Thwaites, what was happening in the Vixens camp?
Well, the Vixens were really happy with that ball speed down their attack end. Obviously, when you move the ball much quicker, the defenders, it's harder for them to set up and to know where the ball's coming from. As we just see a nice little intercept from Bakewell Durham there. Yeah, but Maloney as well. She was saying that looking for the Firebirds, when they get on 1 foot, they want to contest that next ball. When you get on 1 foot as a player, you know, you might actually spray a ball. There might be the opportunity for an intercept. So she's looking for those.
Keep an eye on that. The Firebirds in attack. They love stepping on, and you're allowed to. It works for them, doesn't it?
Yeah, so I was just going to say that when you step on, you just want to make sure that one of your teammates is there to collect the ball from you. So I guess putting that pressure on so that player isn't there and isn't an option is what she's talking about.
Bowetta's showing us how it's done, just stepping in straight away, takes the shot. The Firebirds extend their lead out to 4. Watson and Simpson, they are pushing and shoving. They are trying to get that front position. Kumwenda balances, keeps it in. Bakewell-Doran, she has hands to it. Maloney calling for calm. Austin, 2-on-1 in the circle with Kumwenda. Firebirds getting a hand to everything down there at the moment. See Ebony rebound, hand up in the air. She wanted that win and she got it. Then look at this replay. Bakewell-Doran, incredible athleticism.
Both of them just putting pressure on that lob going into Kumwenda. As we see another goal from Wallam down the other end.
Timeout, Vixens.
We have another HCF tactical timeout. The players can sense a change. The coaches are calling it. They want something different. We're going to take a listen into Di Honey and Joe Munro speaking to the Vixens.
Girls, to start, we're just changing it up. Just have to make sure, I reckon we need to introduce a few more forks into our decision making and into our placement, all right? That's what's letting us down at the moment is the feeds, all right? So we'll change it up, really tight on Lara, let's go for it, and just composure, right? Composure. Make sure you definitely, MJ's one-on-one in the circle, we have to put it to her, he's on, all right? And nice and structured hands.
Let's go, girls. Come on. We were back in that then and we let them go, all right? Remember, we've got to execute. Every ball counts. Every attack in D counts. Let's go. Let's pull this back. Vix on 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
Melbourne Vixens out onto court. They've made some substitutions or made some changes to their lineup. Liz Watson, co-captain, has swapped with Maloney. She's into the centre. Kate Maloney onto wing defence. And Hannah Mundy into the game at wing attack.
Yeah, and words from Di Honey to Kate Maloney was to be nice and tight on Lara Dunkley, because Lara's having such a huge impact in this game, isn't she?
She is, as the Firebirds get away so quickly. They now take the lead by 6. Caitlin Thwaites, what was happening in the Firebirds huddle?
Well, I was listening into defensive coach Claire McMenamin, and she asked her players the last 5 minutes of this quarter, she wants hard one-on-one defence out the front. They've picked up a few turnovers just off some of the box-type structures down that defence end, and she's been really happy with the energy that they've been bringing.
Cross-court pass, Dunkley to Beretta, straight up, she steps on, she finds Wallam. Interesting now, there's tactics and strategies when we get into the Power 5. We're a minute and a half away. You'll see a change up in both defensive ends, no doubt.
You sure will, and sometimes I think for viewers that are new to netball would be asking why the defenders are allowing or not defending the shooter that's standing under the post, which is what we're normally used to doing, isn't it? But the tactic is to stop them from getting into that super shot territory, isn't it? And pushing them to the post for the one-pointer.
Only one Suncorp super shot so far in this game, and that's courtesy of Kira Austin. Vixens with the centre pass. Austin straight across to Mundy. Back to Kumwenda, straight up, 2-on-1, Kumwenda makes it count.
With the goal shooter, defender.
15 from 17 for Kumwenda. Simpson flies down for the centre pass. The options that the Firebirds have on the centre pass, it's not just forwards, it's also what they've got back.
Absolutely, there's just options aplenty, isn't there?
Striking centre, outside.
Beretta draws the contact. Straight to Wallam.
How many times do you reckon they practice that at training, Bianca?
If you're a defender, here we see Emily Mannix coming onto the court to replace Olivia Lewis. If you're Emily Mannix coming onto the court now, what do you try and do?
Well, Look, I think because that ball's going so easily into that back space, I would start in the front and then as the ball's released, roll around to the back, as we've seen Jiva Mentor do it so easily. We call it the Jiva roll, don't we? So I think that you know, that could be a tactic that she could use.
The power 5 is now in play. Mannix moving her feet. It's a 2-on-1 with Jo Weston in the circle. Revillion, Bowetta hangs out. Maloney comes through. She can't get away with that one, but she tried.
It was a good effort from Maloney.
You can see her energy. She's trying to get her team into this game.
Absolutely.
She wants them to take risks. Dunkley.
Or a 2-on-1 situation and she still gets the ball. How strong on the take was that?
That's the difference, isn't it? Danelle Wallam, round 8, compared to Danelle Wallam, round 1. A different player.
Absolutely. And like just this getting this court time week after week, working on those combinations. I'm sure working on her strength and fitness as well, which she hadn't been doing coming into Super Netball. So week after week, she's just getting stronger and stronger. Currently sitting at 96% shooting.
Liz Watson comes flying through, the co-captain of the Vixens. She's trying to create change.
Inside players.
Firebirds leading by 6. As they take their time, they're happy to run this clock down. Still 3.5 minutes to play. Mannix gets a hand in. Wallam, though, too strong.
It was a good contest from Mannix. It's really any ball that goes up into the air to Wallam, you really need to contest. Yes, you may get a contact, but you need to contest.
And we know, Sharon, as former defenders, it's the first half you put the pressure on. Usually it's the second half you get the rewards.
Absolutely. You just got to keep putting that pressure on and the fumbled balls will start to come.
Mannix tries to cut Bowetta off on the baseline. She's too strong. Such an athlete, Greta Bowetta. Hasn't she just stepped up this season?
And you know, she's had to change her style of play as well with Wallam coming into the mix, because we're used to seeing Wallam and I guess I've just gone blank there for a minute thinking of the shooter, Imelda Aiken-George. We're used to seeing them sharing the workload as such, I guess, and now you know Gretel's had to play a bit of a selfish.
Kira Austin, we need to have a look at that on the Harvey Norman replay. She just comes steaming through to pull that one. Weston, let's see if the Vixens can make it count.
We talked about Austin earlier in defence, didn't we? It's great to see her having another crack.
She almost goes under the radar as an attacker flying through to disrupt. Have a look at this Harvey Norman replay. Austin just steals it off Gabby Simpson. She was in front, 2 hands to it. Mundy balances, finds Kumwenda.
I really like what Hannah Mundy brings to the Vixens. She just slots really seamlessly from the bench coming into the lineup. Plays so much like her mother, Shelley O'Donnell, former teammate of mine.
Footwork call against Bowetta. The Vixens, their defensive pressure, it's mounting and it's getting them the turnovers. Maloney in wing defence. Weston straight to Kumwenda. The speed. Free shot for Kumwenda.
That was a better transition down court for the Vixens.
4 goals in a row for the Melbourne Vixens. 1 minute to play in this second quarter. What can they do? Mundy straight to Kumwenda on her own. How important is it to go into half-time with that momentum?
So important, because it just gives you that confidence to start exactly as you finished. Firebirds won't be happy with relinquishing that lead that they had going into this half-time break.
Firebirds still leading by 4. Co-captain Liz Watson urging her team on. A quick fake, Kumwenda on her own. Bowetta, the speed, the Firebirds are trying to get it into Wallam.
as you like, that one, wasn't it? With 15 seconds to go.
Here we go, the Firebirds flying. Vixens pick it up. Ball's going everywhere, body's going everywhere. Bakewell-Doran safely pulls the rebound in. And the Firebirds just run out of time. What an incredible game it has been so far. The intensity has been there, exactly what we thought was going to happen.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be an epic battle, so I can't wait to see what the second half brings.
The Firebirds leading by 4. The Vixens gained a whole lot of momentum in the second half of that second quarter. You're watching Fox Netball, and what a clash we have here between the Melbourne Vixens and the Queensland Firebirds. It's a 4-goal lead to the Firebirds after the first half, but you can feel the intensity lifting. Both teams want this win. It's a top-of-the-table clash to secure a top 2 position on that ladder. Joining us, we have the Melbourne Vixens assistant coach, head coach today, Di Honey. How are you going in that head coach position?
Great at the moment. It's a lot easier being the assistant though, I can tell you.
Well, I can see you've got Jo Munro next to you. She's hopefully helping you out. It's so loud in here. Di, a few momentum changes in that first half. What did you say to the team at half-time?
Yeah, look, they've put out some really good stuff. They've just got to make sure we're just a bit tentative on our leads, and we're just got to let it go, keep the speed of ball, the movement, and just that getting some more depth will really open it up. But just a bit tentative. They've got to take it on.
Di, Sharon here.
Hi, Sharon.
Welcome to the head coach role. We saw Kate Maloney go into that wing defence position. What were you looking from her in that role?
Yeah, look, we just wanted to change up the midcourt, really. I think Hannah's given us a bit more depth in wing attack. Lizzie's obviously used to playing centre, but we just wanted Maloney on Lara Dunkley. I just think we needed to tighten up. Not that Ketty was doing anything that she shouldn't have, but just that change up. And for them to think about another player, that's about all.
And just finally, we've seen how Wallam has dominated in that goal shooter position over the past couple of weeks, especially. What's your instructions to your defenders up against like a tall, holding, moving shooter like Wallam?
Look, it's not about really circle defenders. It's about what's happening out in front, and the pressure has to come from our mids and from obviously in the mid-third. So obviously they've got to stay in front, keep hedging, keep moving their feet, eyes up, but it's mainly the pressure on the outside.
Loving your work, Di Honey. I hope you enjoy the second half.
Thanks, B. See you.
We saw Emily Mannix come through and get rewarded for that goalkeeper position, as she does again. She is telling the coaching staff of the Vixens, this is why you need me out here. I'm going to have an impact. I'm going to get the ball.
Yeah, Mannix had perfect position to be able to get up for that ball coming.
If we look at this Harvey Norman replay, up she goes, getting a hand to it, gathers it. You can't ask more than that from your defenders. And there she goes again. Just so clean in that front position. As we see the Vixens leading the intercept stat 4-1. 1 goal the difference here at John Cain Arena. And already we see a stop. The HCF tactical timeout has been called. And no surprises there why the Firebirds would have called that.
Yeah, I would say Megan Anderson wasn't too happy with how the Firebirds went out and started that first couple of minutes of the third quarter. So she wanted to put an early stop.
Let's take a listen.
They out-vibed us in that first 2 minutes. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Don't back down from the challenge. Let's rise to it.
Yeah, let's go.
Sorry about just get in the passing lane. Yep, immediately between. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's do that one more for now. Then we can go back to 15-minute game. 15-minute game. Show up on 3, 1, 2, 3. Show up!
Megan Anderson very strong. Don't back down from the challenge.
Yeah, and gave some stern words about being outplayed in that first 2 minutes of that opening third quarter. So, look, she's expecting big things from her team this year. We've seen they've been in form, so I think just that lapse in concentration is something that she's not happy with right now.
Well, on the flip side, Caitlin Thwaites, the Vixens would have been happy with their start.
Well, I feel like the crowd has responded to that Kate Maloney rev up in that was really happy with the energy that they brought. She's also just wanting more. She wants more of the attack onto the ball, more of that turnover in defence. They're getting great tips on things, and they've swung that momentum back in their favour. 1 goal in it, guys.
And the Vixens with the last 3. Austin to Kumwenda. Another miss for Kumwenda. We have seen that the last 2 weeks really creep into her game, those short shots missed.
And seems to be when the defenders have their hand right over on the ball as well. She seems to be just changing her technique a little bit, just adjusting her technique, which is putting her off.
We see 26 and 29, 87% from Kumwenda. We're probably a harsh markers on her performance. She's still been shooting a mountain of goals.
I guess it's that we're used to seeing her play so consistently well, aren't we? So anytime someone who's like that, of the quality of Kumwenda, does something that we're not used to, we call it out, don't we?
Absolutely. Wallam and Weston tussling for the ball. Bakewell Doran doubling back on Hannah Mundy with Gabby Simpson and created that turnover just by that pressure.
Yeah, Gabby's just the master. I said she's the master of just riding her player and creating that pressure.
You heard it from Di Honey. The battle between Maloney, Revillion, Dunkley and Watson. Di Honey wanted to move Maloney to wing defence to take on Lara Dunkley. We spoke about her impact in the halftime show. Dunkley's feeds into Wallen. Keep an eye on how that connection is going. Here she goes, Dunkley. Hesitates. Bawetta. Straight up to Wallen from Revillion. If it's not one, it's the other. Safely bounce the ball through. I don't know how she managed to pick that one up.
And then turn around and compose herself to put that shot through the hoop as well.
Frustrating. All the defenders out there.
And Gabby Simpson again with that intercept.
Austin. First it's Simpson. Now it's Austin. Intercepts galore in the midcourt.
Gabby Simpson was not happy after working hard to get that intercept, and then the ball was just thrown away.
You can see on the faces of the players how much it means this game, how much they want to win this game. As the Vixens back within 2, intercepts, 5 for the Vixens, 2 for the Firebirds, but you can feel the Firebirds defensively, they're trying to get more ball. There's more in it for them. Watson tries to go to Mundy on the centre pass. Simpson is fired up, but those penalties, you don't want them. Oh, brilliant. Bakewell Doran, she was in the right place at the right time. Halted the speed of the Vixens, and the Firebirds just pick up where the Vixens left off. You see Wallop just applauding her team for their efforts. She's not only dominating, but she's certainly up there encouraging her teammates as they high-five to go to another HCF tactical timeout called by the Melbourne Vixens. Let's take a listen.
Let's get on to the next set. I reckon we switch you and Hannah. Hannah, you go into the middle. Yeah. All right, you go where you attack. Girls, really good job then, but you know what? We let them back in. Yeah. All right? So you get a lead, we keep going, we keep pushing, we make sure we're controlled and composed in attack.
Oh, that's it, Alex.
Okay?
We do it.
Yeah.
Ball away, we drop the ball, rip it in.
Yeah. You're doing really good stuff, but take it on. Let's go, take it on.
My plate off the ball is ours, okay? Let's go, bring it in. Yeah. Contest every ball, and in attack, work rate, rip it in. We get to circle edge, we make it count every time. This is ours. Come on, Vix on 3. 1, 2, 3, Vix!
Kate Maloney, no surprises, she's fired up. The Vixens, changes in their court. Maloney still on wing defence. Hannah Mundy has moved to the centre, and co-captain and captain of Australia, Lisa Watson, back in their familiar position of wing attack. The crowd is so loud here at John Cain Arena. They're loving having netball back in Melbourne and seeing their team in form. But the Firebirds have really brought it to them today. Leading by 4. Bakewell-Doran to Boetta. Dunkley muscles her way in. It's a 1-on-1. Mannix, a 2-on-2 against Wallum. The Firebirds extend their lead. Watson looks long, goes short. Simpson gets her hands in there. Mundy to pick it up. Stray ball from Western. Austin able to retrieve it.
Nice sweep around the top of the circle there from Austin, and the shot to finish. Should be happy with that.
The Vixens need Austin to take control of their shooting circle. Mundy gets a hand in there, a bit late. And Revillion will get to reset. You can see the goal assist. Lara Dunkley leading the way with 19. The Vixens changing up their positioning. Austin can't go long. Brilliant pressure from the Queensland Firebirds. It's stifling. It's really hard for the Vixens to be able to move forward when they're all moving and hedging. Let's go down to Caitlin Thwaites. What are you loving about the Firebirds attack?
Well, Gretel has just been asked to try and take up some of that front space in the circle. When they've got that 2-on-1, she was tending to drive that baseline drive, whereas this time, that exact sweep right there on court, taking up that front space is what the coaches are asking from her, and unfortunately, that one just didn't come off for them.
Jo Weston must have been listening because she was in the exact right spot to get her hand to that ball. Turnovers for both teams. Pretty even at the moment, and both teams would be fairly happy with that.
Just looking at the penalty count for Ruby Bakewell-Doran, she's currently sitting on 11, which is the highest for any of the defenders, which is not, we're not used to seeing that from her, so she's going to have to tidy up, I guess, that so she can remain in play.
We pumped her up at the start as being one of the cleanest defenders, not so much today. 34 goals for Danelle Wallum. She is leading the way. Biggest number of goals of any shooter out there on the court, and her accuracy is incredible, 94%. Mundy, Kumwenda. We talk about Kumwenda. She's getting more accurate, probably more accurate the further out she shoots. Simpson to Revillion. Boetta can't go forward, has to go across. The Vixens, Liz Watson is waiting in the wings, right on the transverse line. Maloney, just a quick shove to Simpson.
You need to set it back where it was. That's it.
Marking her territory. Weston through to Mundy. Straight up the middle to Kumwenda. Double play, triple play. Austin, double defended, Bakewell-Doran.
She gets the deflection. Every defender, we love doing that, don't we, Bianca?
She is put out of a play for it, but you've got to try it.
Yeah, got to give it a go.
You do. It's that double defence too that creates that doubt in the shooter's mind. There we go, see it jump up. Just crept in. Mundy to Austin. Austin keeps it in. Hands by Kumwenda, strong hands. She pulls that ball in.
Those feeds going in are looking a lot more confident and a lot more well-placed. So
2-goal lead to the Firebirds. Can they make it 3? You spoke about the home court advantage in the pre-game show. How important is that right now for the Vixens to have this crowd behind them to try and get them in this game?
Well, it is. Like, mentally, if you're away from home, you feel that pressure of the crowd cheering, and whilst they're professional athletes and you try to block that out, sometimes it's just hard to. But so they really need to remain focused and not let the crowd get to them.
Well, at the moment, the Firebirds are doing a great job. Look at that accuracy from Revillions. No point going up when it's wide open to Wallen. Mundy, back to Maloney. Watson, can't go long, has to go lateral. Vixens struggling to move forward with the ball. Watson, over the top. Mundy right on the edge. Delivers it safely to Kumwenda. It's a contact call against Soro Brown. We're in the power 5. Just under 4.5 minutes to play in this third quarter. Austin very happy to attempt a Suncorp super shot. Why wouldn't she be? That's 2 for her this game in that Suncorp.
Sorry, Bianca, I was just going to say, we haven't seen too many super shots in this match overall, have we, really?
And I wonder if it's been... Oh, Weston deflects it, chases it up. The home crowd absolutely loving her work in goal defence. We see the deflection stats. Soro Brown leading with 4, but Jo Weston not far behind. Scores are all tied here at John Cain Arena. Mundy to Kumwenda.
What a feed from Mundy that was. She just waited for Kumwenda to roll off to the back space and just placed it nicely.
An impressive performance by Hannah Mundy since she's entered the game. Simpson to Rebellion. Back and forth, patience from the Firebirds. Maloney gets her hand in there.
Just thinking those cross-court balls are just really risky passes at this sort of stage of the game. I think I would be trying to just take the easier option.
Wallen, her turn. Can't sink the super shot. Ken Buetta. You're saying the attempts, now they all want the attempts.
Well, the Firebirds know how important it is to get this going into the last quarter. Get those extra 2 points.
Smart play by the Firebirds, just to settle for the 1. Austin finds Watson, driving straight onto the edge of the circle. That's the play that we're used to seeing from the Vixens.
Absolutely.
Soro Brown, blocked shot. She doesn't need that. Maloney, bodies flying everywhere. Scores are even. Teams want this win.
The Firebirds, if they want this goal, they're going to have to settle and go back to the style of netball they were playing in that first half, which was patient, not rushed. I think they're getting caught up in the hype at the moment.
Harvey Melbourne replays. Yep. Maloney comes flying through. Rebellion grabs the ball and says, I don't think so. Maloney, ball in hands. Maloney is yelling, screaming instructions. She wants this win more than anybody out there on court right now. Kumwenda keeps it in over her head. Which team will settle?
There's still 1:34 to go till the end of the quarter, so there's no need to panic from either team.
Buetta in the safe hands of Greta Buetta. There is a lot of intensity in this game. Buetta to Dunkley, gets the second phase quite easily.
We've seen Buetta able to take that front cut the last couple of times down that end. I think the defenders are still focusing a lot on Wallen, so Buetta's had that freedom to be able to take that front cut.
Last 3 goals to the Queensland Firebirds. They're leading this game by 2. Less than a minute to play in this third quarter. Kumwenda to bring it back within 1. Maloney flies at it. Dunkley pulls the ball in. Have a look at the score breakdown too. The Firebirds winning that first half, both quarters in the first half, but the Vixens leading this third quarter by 3 goals. Austin Misses, gets another attempt. There's one goal the difference. 5 seconds to play. What can the Firebirds do? Wallem for 2. She doesn't quite get that, but the Firebirds get the lead. They're leading the Vixens by 1.
Get stuck on the back of MJ, you got to come around.
Yeah, straight away.
Yeah, so if Ev's in front, you just got to be off so that you can come around and get up.
Come around front or come around back
to the body. So you are just stuck right here, right? You just go anywhere because then you can have a go at it.
Yeah, totally. I know I'm getting so stuck, but like come around the backside to at least push her, because otherwise she gets
like close to the baseline when you're stuck there. So come top,
okay.
go through.
So like okay,
More towards the base. And it's good when you come out
Inside, into the Firebirds huddle. It's our Origin 3/4 time huddle. Ruby Bakewell-Doran, young defender, you're asking the question, do I come around the front? Do I come around the back? You don't often get to see that, do you? Or hear that conversation between coach and player?
No, you don't. And she asked clarification from her coach, Megan Anderson, of what it is exactly that she wants to do. And she wants her to come around from not allow MJ to have that back space. I think she's saying she's getting caught up behind her, and she's wanting her to come around more in that front space to force MJ to the back space and have a crack at that high intercept. I'm confusing myself too, Bianca.
It's all happening here. This game has everything, and we still have 15 minutes to play. Ooh, Watson goes down, just lands awkwardly. Revillion gives her a bit of a tap. We talk about MJ, we're talking about Maui Kumwenda. Revillion straight away into attack. The Firebirds trying to play with as much speed as they can. Scores all tied. Remember, whoever wins this game, they'll go and have a great chance of securing a top 2 position as we enter the second half of the season. Jo Weston comes up with the rebound. Wallem straight into defence, making it hard for the defenders to be able to throw over her hands.
Great work from the Vixens defenders in the circle there, just to put that pressure on Bruetta.
Sexton goes flying.
Well, she's not happy with that call.
Watson, 2 hands on it, plays on quickly. Maloney backing up on the transverse line. Every single ball is being contested. Mundy to Kumwenda, out of the circle. That cross-court pass we talk about, it's risky. What a take from Kumwenda.
obstruction.
Brilliant netball we're seeing from both teams. Vixens take the lead. There's 1 goal in it. Have a look at this Harvey Norman replay. Kumwenda, brilliant athleticism, incredible vertical jump. And the Vixens with the last 3 goals in a row. Austin to Watson, double play to Kumwenda. You can see that physical pressure, Sharon.
Kumwenda's really stepped up, hasn't she? But that physical pressure is there, but she's rising above it. She's finally found her groove.
We say a groove. She's shooting at 92%, Kumwenda, 36 from 39. 2 goals the difference. The Vixens in the lead. Dunkley to Revillion. Back to Dunkley. She fumbles it. That pressure. The Vixens have been building. The Vixens have been putting it on. And now they're getting their awards. Maloney to Weston. Straight to Watson. Back to Mannix, they're struggling. The Firebirds defence. It's sitting in that middle channel. Mundy, hands up, Kumwenda.
Nice, patient play from the Vixens, just not finished off though.
The Suro-bound chases up that ball. Firebirds get a chance. Caitlin Thwaites, I'm going to come across to you. Can you feel the energy and intensity over there?
The energy is definitely up. These Firebirds coaches, it feels like they're doing squats over here. They're out of their seat that often. But I have an interesting stat from that third quarter, Lara Dunkley took 1 centre pass, Gretel took 12. So sometimes that might be an attacking strategy that they're wanting Gretel to get that centre pass, or it might be the defensive strategy as to what the Vixens defenders are wanting to leave open for them. So the coach is just asking for Lara to up her work rate here.
Keep an eye on that matchup between Lara Dunkley and Kate Maloney. Former housemates, fun fact for everybody. Watson, ball in hand. Great connection between Austin and Kumwenda.
That was lovely. That was lovely to watch.
Centre pass receives Gawita leading the way, as Caitlin just pointed out. Mundy gets in there a bit late. Will stand out of play. The Firebirds get a chance to reset. Wallen juggles that rebound, tries to pull it in. Mundy to Maloney. Firebirds all over it, and they get the held ball. Incredible pressure by the Queensland Firebirds.
You just see how every pass counts, Bianca, doesn't it, in a match like this? Every little pass matters.
Maloney goes flying.
Maloney's doing a great job on Dunkley at the moment, especially around that pocket area.
We don't often see Kate Maloney at wing defence in recent years, but she certainly has been a wing defence in the past.
Absolutely.
She knows the position so well.
And we know she had a quieter game last week in centre, but that was, you know, due to coming back from COVID, but it seems like she's recovered well.
She certainly is enjoying the battle out there with Dunkley. Watson finds Austin easily.
But I was just about to say, far too easy. That ball coming in, so you saw Brown and Bakewell-Doran are going to have to start communicating a little bit better. You can't have an unattended player in a match this close.
The Vixens leading by 2. Over 9 minutes to play, and Weston gets a hand. She wants to be up by more.
Isn't she having a great game, Bianca?
Incredible pressure
Just
by the Vixens
going
defence.
for everything.
It's been 2 different halves, hasn't it? The first half, the Firebirds were really setting the pace. And in this second half, it feels like the Vixens are stamping their authority on this game.
Absolutely. And the Firebirds really need to pull the ball in, because the Vixens have really stepped up their defensive effort, and you really need to snap that ball in with 2 hands.
Mundy goes flying. Double play to Austin. Bakewell-Doran disrupts the play, but the Vixens get to reset. Straight across the court. Simpson working so hard to shut down Liz Watson. Vixens still leading by 2. Firebirds into attack. You can see the hands over, the pressure. The Vixens trying to sag back in defence, but the Firebirds calmly find the edge of the circle through Revillion. 2 hands up from 2 goalers. That's what you like to see, Sharon.
Absolutely.
Plenty of options for the Firebirds in attack. We're back within 1. Kumwenda fakes one way, finds Watson the other way. What a performance by Maui Kumwenda, especially in this second half of this game.
Absolutely. Currently shooting at 93%. So similar, Danelle Wallam at 93 as well. Both had similar volume of shots as it was in round 1 when they first met, Bianca.
And we have a look at the Nissen net points. 70 for Kumwenda. Wallen sitting up there as she scores another with 60.
And of course, Jo Weston sitting in 3rd position, as you'd expect her performance today.
Kumwenda goes back out. Strong performance from Mundy against Kim Revillion.
Nice double play there between Watson and Kumwenda.
The Vixens back out by 2. Don't forget the Power 5 is coming up soon. as the Firebirds call a HCF tactical timeout. Will they make some changes to their lineup? We're going to go take a listen into the Firebirds huddle. Let's listen to what Megan Anderson and Claire Ferguson have to say.
Yeah, we're a bit stationary. So you're taking the cart, keep taking the cart down that middle, it's good. Let's try a flood on the centre park. Okay. Clog it up and hopefully they'll get a held ball or something over. Just run down. Right down the middle. Yep. And then when they get it to a wing attack or a goal attack, then go find yours so it can't go back. Okay. So flood and then back on yours.
I reckon when we get our hips around, we can fake earlier. We're getting our hips around and then faking. Remember that turn, fake straight away to shoot, and then give it off. Let's go. Let's want this ball. Come on. Come on, girls.
This is exactly what we expected from this clash. The Vixens came into this game sitting second on the ladder. The Firebirds third. So much in this game. The teams have had ups and downs throughout the first half of the season, but this second half of the season, you want to be putting out your best performances every game.
Absolutely, Bianca. And the Vixens were sitting at top of the table, and so, you know, they were the team to beat, and they still are a team to beat. So the Firebirds, if they can take this win, as we see that beautiful ball going into Wallen, Firebirds, you know, that psychological advantage leading into finals is so important, isn't it?
It sure is. There's one goal, the difference. What's fascinating to me is the penalties. When you look at the penalties on court, Liz Watson is the only Vixen with 9, and she's surrounded by, we've got Bakewell Doran on 14, Lucero Brown on 12, Revillion on 9, Gabby Simpson on 8. A very clean performance by the Vixens.
Absolutely. It's not often you see only one player with that many, you know, for that stat.
Wallen.
One rolls in.
Finds the post, but also finding the space. Watson all on her own for the centre pass. She goes forward. Double play, triple play with Austin. You see both coaches on the screen. Megan Anderson and Di Honey. You're just joining us, Simone McInnes not here because of COVID protocols, but Di Honey stepping in and doing a great job. Watson looks long. Oh, Bakewell Doran flies through. She's been waiting for that one. Bueta. Revillion back to Bueta. What's the option? They're both there. Great hands by Bueta to tap that back into Wallen.
Sure was.
Scores are even here in Melbourne. We're just about to head into the Power 5. There's the siren. The Firebirds all on one side of the court. They're trapped there. Can they go forward? They don't go forward, they just go up.
And there's another one from Wallen. Won't she be happy? The Firebirds are coming back.
Firebirds back in the lead. The last 10. 3 to the Firebirds as Liz Watson hits the ground again. Such a physical matchup, Gabby Simpson.
It has been, hasn't it, for the whole game. It's just been so physical between those two positions.
You're hearing the umpires just yelling out on court to the players, making sure they understand that you've got to stand out of play, but you also can't make those silly errors off the ball.
Absolutely.
Scores are tied. Dunkley.
It's going to come down to who's got the cool heads in this one.
It sure will. Dunkley to Bueta, straight to Wallen. Can't pull it in. Does on a second chance. Wallen. Takes the super shot. She misses. Only 2 Suncorp super shots for the game, and they've been both courtesy of Kira Austin. Mannix to Maloney. Vixen struggling to go forward.
Almost feels like a grand final, doesn't it?
Doesn't it? I am absolutely loving it,
This is
Sharon.
me a preview.
Kim Revillion being stood out of play, back in the Vixens defensive end. Dunkley comes through for the intercept.
Unlucky.
She's not happy with that contact call.
Anyway, they just need to get on with it.
Kumwenda, another penalty to the Firebirds. They've got to stay in play. You see the penalty count here, the Firebirds 57.
There's
and
that,
the Vixens with 46.
there's that backspace that Megan Anderson was talking about, not allowing the ball to go into that backspace into MJ. They're going to have to protect that backspace.
Dare I say it, if we do go into extra time, Sharon, there'll be a 90-second break. Teams can make changes if they want to. Then we'll go straight into 5 more minutes of play. There's no changing ends. If it still is a draw at the end of the 5 minutes, then we have another, then it will end as a draw. But we will get 5 minutes of play. It's different in the finals though. And no timeouts to any team as the Vixens come up with another ball. The crowd are loving it. 2 goals, the difference here. Vixens into attack. Plenty of time for both teams. Mundy across to Watson. They have to go back. There's no options forward. Maloney very happy to let the ball roll along the court and take her time. Under 2 minutes to play. A short one to Mundy.
Very short one to Mundy. The change of rule there, allowing it to be that short now, isn't it?
You don't have to worry as much. 3 goals the difference.
And this is when it's tough, when you're 3 down and you know you need to turn the ball over. 4 now. It's going to be a hard ask.
Caitlin Quaid, how are you feeling over there?
Pressure, guys, the pressure. Goodness me, but isn't it these types of moments, you can practice them all you like at training, but it's in these moments, who's going to stand up? Gretel Buena. She's standing up. It's all about wearing that pressure and still having that clear head in these moments. So let's see who's got the clear head and the great decision making.
2 goals the difference, and we know the Suncorp Super Shot is in play. Anything can happen. The Firebirds heavily penalised. Watson, free pass forward. The cool head of Kumwenda. And the Vixens extend their lead by 3. Just over 40 seconds. What can the Firebirds do? Revillion to Bowetta. Wallum wants to take it. Suncorp super shot.
What a shot from Wallum that was.
We are 1 the difference. The Vixens. There's 24 seconds to play. Gabby Simpson out of play again. Watson to Kumwenda. Which team have the calm experience to play this one out? Oh,
Bakewell Doran. Maybe a little too late.
Just listen to the crowd here at John Cain Arena.
How happy are they to see their Vixens get the win today?
It was a grand final-like atmosphere and possibly a preview of what's to come in the final series. A huge win to the Melbourne Vixens. The Firebirds, they won the first 2 quarters. The Vixens, they won the last half. 66-64 as the teams now come together. It was an intense battle. It had everything. And both teams are going to learn a huge amount from that game.